I've got Amy Mitchell with me on the call today. Amy, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure, thank you.
You've been a long-term member of WSM for several years. You've come a long way from working 60 hours or more a week as a hands-on massage therapist to having branded day spas from one side of the country to the other. I don't need to tell your story. How about you tell us how that happened in such a short time, and how did you start?
Um, like you said, yeah, I did start off as a massage therapist. I did 6 days a week, up to 10 clients a day, hands-on, and it was sports and remedial massage that I did, and I also did a lot of pregnancy massage as well. And when I came on board to WSM, I I have a really bad memory. I can't remember if I was pregnant or I just had Macy. So this is like nearly 5 years ago. And I basically was just exhausted, had no idea what the hell I was doing, didn't know how to market. I was just working to basically pay the bills. Then I jumped on board with WSM and started changing the way that I did my marketing, and I'm still doing the same style of marketing as what I did back then, and obviously I've gotten a lot bigger. I took on a manager probably not long after I must have joined WSM, and I think I'd had Macy, who's my 4-year-old now, and came off being a massage therapist then. I've since had another child, so once you have pregnancy brain, your brains disappear and they never seem to come back. Well, they haven't come back for me yet. So then I remember having a discussion with you on the phone about like, you know, trying to identify a niche, because at the time at a massage clinic, predominantly my clients were just local people. They were just people within a 5-minute drive of where I was that were coming in to see me. So I remember talking to you and you were like, well, why should I come to see you? And I was like, well, actually, I probably wouldn't have you come and see me. Like, I wouldn't be marketing to you. And you were like, why? And rather than give the spiel of I do great customer service and my treatments are amazing and blah, 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 which I'm sure everyone else has, but that should be a standard in every business, I said, I mainly take care of pregnant people. And you were like, well, why don't you just focus all on pregnancy? And I was like, yeah, why won't I? So I did. And because I'm a massage therapist, I couldn't myself actually offer anything other than massage to my clients. So then my husband, who's very, very good to me and total polar opposite of me, he let me have my wild dreams and my wild way. We sold our house to fund the opening of the first Yummy Mummy pregnancy day spa. I hired beauty therapists on board. I obviously went and educated myself on everything that we could do or everything we can't do, but I myself, there's no way I could actually get into a treatment room and do a Brazilian wax or a pedicure. I'm shocking with that sort of stuff. That's not my strength, but I have a really amazing group of girls that work with me who are very passionate about pregnancy the way I am. So that's pretty much how I got into having a pregnancy day spa. I started it up as like a franchise model because right from the beginning I knew that this is what I wanted to do, but be able to replicate it again and again. It's only been probably until the last maybe 6 months that I feel like I actually have a real finished product that I can roll out without me having to be there to talk to anyone. I live in Bunbury, which is 2 hours away from the closest salon, and we are about to open a number 2 day spas up in, where is it, up over in Sydney. So I'll be over there for a few weeks, but I love this stuff. I absolutely love what I'm doing. I love it. I'd do it every minute of the day if I could, but I'm a mummy as well, so I have to juggle everything.
All right. Well, it sounds from what you've said that it was all a bed of roses and it was easy to do. You just got the idea and it all suddenly
Yeah,
materialised out of thin air,
yeah, yeah.
but it wasn't.
No,
So,
no.
so hang on. Let's just go back a bit. You touched on something that I've preached for years, and that is find a niche. And
Yeah,
I remember having that phone conversation with you 4 or 5 years ago where I asked you what are some of your customers? What are commonalities between some of your customers? And that's when you said, well, I seem to massage a lot of pregnant women. And I do
yeah.
remember saying, well, why don't you just focus on that? Now, saying it and doing it is two different things. You mortgaged or you sold your house to fund this. That was a pretty big step. That was pretty scary, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're huge. Like, not, I don't think many people would be willing to actually give up their entire life savings to sink it into something that may or may not work, but nobody else has ever done either. So it was a big risk, and I'm lucky that I had a husband who was willing for us to risk everything we had to make it work.
So you sold the house and then you set up this initial Yummy Mummy pregnancy day spa. How did it go?
It was difficult to begin with. I was actually pregnant the day we moved out of our house, the one that we had just sold. I had signed a lease maybe a week or two beforehand. I found out I was pregnant with number two, and I didn't think I'd ever have kids, so I'm very, very lucky to have the two that I have. And I was going through the whole IVF process of, doing all the prep work beforehand. So I honestly had no clue that I was actually pregnant already. So that threw me, and I realised I've got maybe 6 months of where my brain is actually going to function before I go off into marshmallow la la land because the hormones take over and I just can't have a rational thought in my head. I still can't remember my name most days. Details, I'm shocking with details normally, but pregnant, ooh, that's not good. I had a manager who had been with me at that stage for about, I think she was with me for about 2 years. So I see this come up in the WSM forum thing a lot, and sometimes that beauty forum as well. I made the mistake of micromanaging my manager. I wasn't letting control go or giving the right kind of direction that a manager needed to be able to do their job effectively. I still am learning even today how you run a business. I'm always looking to improve, but I didn't have like the policies and procedures there for a manager to be able to do the job that they need to do. So I happened to be in the spa maybe 2 or 3 days a week. I was with Fraser, my second one, and then I got to that was it. I had walked away from that, but all the business stuff I had done ready by the time I was 6 months, and then I really stepped away from the business. I thought I'd be busting to get back into it, like on a day-to-day level, pretty much as soon as Fraser was born, because I did that when I had my first child. I went back into working because I didn't want to be at home. My husband, he was awesome at doing the stay-home daddy thing. But second time around, I just took it easy. I then had, a manager who wasn't being micromanaged, who knew what she was meant to be doing. That was a process of actually getting there. Even to today, I still work on how to better policies and procedures. I'm very lucky now. I have in Perth 2 amazing managers who make my life an absolute dream. But I'm not on their back every 2 seconds saying, you need to do this or you need to do that or whatever. They have guidelines that they need to work within. but I'm not micromanaging them anymore. And that makes me happy because I can work on the things that I love doing, which is business development and marketing.
Yeah, it's very similar to, I read a lot of military history, and a good commander will say to a subordinate commander, go and take that hill, and leave it to that subordinate to work out how they're going to take that hill.
Yep.
And that sounds like what you're doing.
Yes, empowering people. And the same thing goes with staff as well. Like, don't get me wrong, I have had a lot of staffing issues, and that has to be, hands down, the biggest problem that anyone in the service industry will have to face, getting the right kind of staff. But, and I've heard you say it so many times before, I hire on attitude, not on skill. Skill can be taught. Like Julie Pampadosi, I love that woman. I love listening to everything she says. It's attitude. If you can't say to me that you love what you're doing and you're really passionate about being in the beauty or the spa industry, or if it was the hair industry, if you're not really passionate about it, I don't want you on my team because you've already got one foot out the door. So I feel like now I'm pretty good at reading people. Not everybody has this ability, and you know what? Sometimes some people do sneak through under my radar, but I really go on instinct. So if I interview someone, and I still like to get into the interviews with the manager. I like the manager to run it, and I will be there as well, mainly because I feel like I can read a person better. I can see if they're actually really genuine about whether they actually really want to work with us. If they don't want to work with us, I don't want them on our team. And that eliminates a lot of that problem of people doing a shitty job or not following the policies and procedures. If they want to be there, they'll bend over backwards to make other people happy.
So the process you go through, and I wanted to get onto this because so many salon and spa owners find it really difficult, the whole process of attracting inquiries from staff, for potential staff, to the process of interviewing and hiring them and figuring out who's going to be a dud and who's going to be a champion. How much of your time do you think is devoted to both finding great staff and motivating and managing that process?
Well, very little, because I've got it down to a process. I wonder if the people who are putting these ads out actually read them and go, geez, I really want to apply for that job because it sounds awesome. Like, if you actually have a look at my my job advertisements, it basically says the same thing, and I just, paste it wherever it is that I'm trying to look for the staff. I say awesome beauty therapist wanted, and then I go through and I say, I'm so excited, I'm looking for a new team member, this is what we do, I'm really passionate about pregnancy, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, like, the whole spiel is there, but my passion is in that advert, and I can tell from the responses that I get whether a person is actually worth talking to or not, but the shit, it is shit. That comes out of these businesses when they're trying to find someone. Senior therapist doesn't even say wanted, just senior therapist. You are required to meet target levels, blah, blah, boring, 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 boring. I would not be inspired to leave my cushy job of earning whatever it is I earn for whatever hours. I would be bored out of my fucking brains. Like, I just make it exciting. Like, be passionate about what you're doing. Otherwise, get out. Go and work for somebody else where you don't have to worry about it. I can't understand why anyone would do something that they don't absolutely love. So share the love. When I get my responses, I can see that they are just as passionate as what I am. And those people, they attract my attention. They warrant a response. I started doing emailing them a few questions to say, who does your laundry and whatever else, to see if they're responsible and take accountability for their own lives. If they can actually respond to an email and are still really eager to join, then I'll interview them. So I usually have really awesome quality candidates that are coming in that I interview. You can usually tell within a week or two if it's a right fit or not. I'm not a Nazi when it comes to like targets and all of that sort of stuff. Retailing is not my strong point, but I'm really passionate about having a group of people work for me who love the work just as much as what I do, and can provide that amazing customer service that everyone seems to tell you that they have.
Well, what you've just been talking about is putting into the process of attracting staff the same passion that you put into the process of attracting customers. So you're marketing to potential staff.
Yep, absolutely.
And you're right. Most job ads are fantastic for insomniacs. They send you to sleep straight away.
Yeah.
So you've got over that process, and you've also hinted there that you don't simply put out an ad, get a phone call from somebody and say, yeah, come in and let's have a talk. You make them jump through a few hoops before you let them even in the door.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
just to make sure that they're committed, and that they really, really want to be there, because if they're not committed and if they can't put any effort into actually trying to work with us, they're not going to put the effort in when they are working for us. So I need to have proof that they do really want to be on board.
Yep. So that process has taken a while to bed down, hasn't it? I mean, you didn't.
Oh yeah.
You weren't good
at it.
That
was not an overnight thing.
Yeah. Okay. So you now have branded day spas in Perth, and you're just about to open one in Sydney, and you're now talking about doing one in Melbourne as well.
Yeah.
And that is a massive undertaking because it's a big country. So you're thousands of kilometres apart. Give us some of the. I mean, as I said, it hasn't all been a bed of roses. Give us some of the hiccups and the traumas along the way.
Yeah.
What have they been?
You want the hiccups?
Yes.
I've had a lot of hiccups, and I know, like, I choose to do what I'm doing. If I didn't want hiccups, I would honestly stay at home. Actually, no, I wouldn't. Having children is really hard in itself. I'd probably just go and work for someone else in hospitality, serving drinks behind a bar. That'd be wicked. That'd be awesome. There'd be no hiccups there. I have had a lot of hiccups. My most recent one was to do with my website. You've got to be really, really, really on the ball the entire time. Like I said before, details are not my thing, and because of that, that's where my downfall will continue to be, because I don't like checking over everyone else's work. I'm quite a trusting person, and I assume that other people are going to do the right thing by me, whereas, sometimes they will. There are a lot of awesome people out there, but sometimes people won't do the right thing by you. That's what really has been my undoing in the past. My most recent one was I had a website that I had outsourced to overseas, and I didn't actually even think about it, but I assumed that the right thing was being done. It wasn't. I got a phone call from a legitimate company that was here in Australia, a very angry director, and rightly so as well, because if someone went and ripped off all of my intellectual property, I would come down on them like a ton of bricks myself. The design had been copied directly from one of his designs, and he was saying, there was copyright infringement as well. A lot of the images, you would know, but there's a lot of other people that might not know. If you want to use an image, there are big, giant websites where you can buy stock images and license it so you can use it as you please. My guy, who was sitting in Pakistan, and I still love him, I still do love him, he had been using licensed images, but without actually paying for them. He was literally just copying them and putting them onto anything else. I could have got into a shitload of trouble for that, like really big trouble for doing that. But I didn't know, I didn't realise, it had never occurred to me that maybe somebody wasn't doing the right thing. I now, because of that, I'm very wary about where my design work is coming from. You know, if you're going to do it within Australia, I would like to think that most of the designers here in Australia and website companies, they would be doing the right thing, because intellectual property law and copyright infringement, they are very serious things in Australia. But, you know, in China or in India, you can get replicas of everything and nobody gives a shit. Like, they just, I mean, you know, maybe they might get fines or whatever, but it's not as big a deal over there as what it is here. So that was a big learning curve.
That was a hiccup, and in fact, as you know, we build dozens of websites for salons, and we build them in-house right here. We don't outsource that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You never know what's going on, what's being done on your behalf. So okay, so the one that was one of the hiccups for you, but these things are happening all the time when you're running a business, aren't they? These issues are happening. Major and minor issues are happening all the time when you're building and running a business.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's day-to-day stuff all the time. As far as like client satisfaction goes, I guarantee all of our services, and you know, I put my face to the business all the time to say exactly that. So if for some reason, in a highly unlikely event, someone wasn't happy with their service, we redo it, and then we get them back again, and we convert them into being, like, you know, basically salespeople, people who go and market, because we go over and above to make sure that they have an exceptional experience with us. Other issues. Well, there's a staff thing that, you know, people come and go. I don't think I've actually had any major dramas. Like, luckily, I haven't had to deal with any stealing or, you know, nothing totally unethical. I'd just say it was mainly staffing issues. I mean, I have got 2 kids. That's not a problem. I love them. Better clarify that.
Very glad about that.
Juggling motherhood and business, that is difficult, and I think that there's a lot of, I mean, you know, probably nearly half of the business owners that are out there have got kids and probably struggle with this on a day-to-day basis. I'm very lucky, am I lucky? No, I'm not lucky, because I made this happen. Tegan and I, we came across this amazing website, which I think everyone should go and have a look. Some chick in America who's like a personal trainer, Chalene Johnson. Have you heard of it?
Yep.
Awesome. Like, she's just like this little pocket rocket, and, like, you know, has the most amazing personality and body. She's wicked. She's got a 30-day program where you basically look at what are your values, what are your priorities, and what are your goals, and then trying to marry them all in together, so you actually know what the hell you're trying to achieve, where you're moving forward to, and how you're going to get there. So every day I might have this huge list of stuff that I need to get done. My working hours are pretty much put into 3 mornings a week. I've got a 3-hour period where my husband looks after the kids, and then I have 2 full days where the kids are in daycare. So they are my working time, and then the rest of the time I'm mummy. I can't answer business calls. I can't do emails. I just have to stop, because I make mistakes if I try and do both things at once. I think it was not last Christmas, Christmas before, I sent out 30,000 flyers with the wrong...
We lost you momentarily there. You sent out 30,000 flyers with what?
With the wrong phone number on it.
The wrong phone number.
Phone number, yeah.
Brilliant.
So, big mistake. And that was because I was trying to do mummy and business at the same time, and it doesn't work. You can't do everything at the same time. Maybe when the kids are a bit older and they understand that mummy's trying to do her emails, maybe it might work then, but not now. So I did this program, and so did Tegan as well, and it was awesome. So now what happens is I have a big list of everything I want to do, and I have 2 steps forward. So the first thing I have to do is eat a frog. So the thing that's on my list that I really don't want to do, that's the first thing that I have to do, just so it's taken off the list and I don't have to worry about it. Then I get through as much as I possibly can, but I must always do those 2 steps forward. So even if I have a really shitty day and I'm feeling tired or exhausted and the kids are sick or whatever, I'm still always moving forward.
Well, the key lesson there is that you actually make a list every day to do the following day, and you do the 1 or 2 things that you really don't want to do first.
Yep.
Whether it's make a phone call to pay a bill, or whether it's to write an email that you can't really think of, or whether it's to discipline a staff member or whatever, but you do the nasty things first.
Yep.
And everything else after that gets easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Then it doesn't matter. So if I don't get through it, then it doesn't matter. As long as I'm moving forward and achieving something every day. And I get a lot of satisfaction out of being able to tick things off my list and actually achieving milestones. I get a lot of joy out of that. And I'd say if anyone's in business, they would also get great joy out of being able to go, well, you know, I started here and now I'm here, you know, good for me, pat on the back.
Amy, you might want to comment on this. We get a lot of salon owners when we ask them, okay, what have you actually done in the last month to generate more business? And we get a lot of people saying, well, you know, I've just been too busy to actually do anything. I've been too busy on clients, or I've had to take the dog for a walk, or I've, you know, my mum's been sick, or people will have a raft of excuses for not doing things, but you seem to have got over that.
Yeah, well, like you just said, they're excuses. Like, if you want something, make it happen. The only person who is responsible for what happens in your life is you. If you own your own business, it's up to you to make it work. So, like, you know, my process, it's happened over 4 years. It's not like I woke up one day and went, oh, well, I'm just going to open up, you know, 4-day spas and it'll be sweet and I'll have this perfect work-life balance. It has been a process, a big process, but I'm pretty proactive with my life. Like, I step up and I will be, you know, accountable for what happens. So when you first start off, you just have to make a commitment. Take, I don't know, like one day a week, and have that as your day of working on the business. If you are potentially, you know, bringing in, I don't know, like I don't know what the average is. We operate on, say, $120 an hour. If I was a massage therapist and I was earning $120 for those 8 hours, I'm shocking at maths and can't think off the top of my head. What's that? $960 that I was going to be bringing in for the day. Is that right? If I did 8 hours. Like I said, details not my thing. That $900 or whatever it is, if I hired someone at $25 an hour to do the same work, then I'm only sacrificing, $200. So I still get $700 at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
I would be better off paying someone $200 a day to do the hands-on work and then spend that 8 hours doing work where I'm generating $7,000. So I will do a promotion or, you know, like I have just had a promotion, which example can I use? Let's say a few months ago we did a promotion where we put it on the radio. Well, we turned over $55,000 in about a week from it. It was a big promotion. I'm better off spending 8 hours every week trying to generate $7,000 than $900 for the day. Like, yeah, to me, it's a no-brainer, but you have to take a step. If people are worried, oh, my clients, they really want me, oh, they're not going to go to anybody else. Well, I was there. I've done that. And you know what happens? They will go to somebody else if you're not there. You wean them off. You say, oh, you'll absolutely love, you know, Jane because she does an amazing facial massage, whatever it is. Even if you put them onto them for free, like to have like a little half-hour tester for them, so there is no risk for them to go and try it. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be happy with that new person, but they will realise that if they want to see you, they need to book ahead and they need to prepay. You can put your prices up. I did that. I was in the position where I was like, I'm not massaging other than, I don't know, let's say a Wednesday. I was booked up 3 months in advance and people were prepaid to do it. And nobody would cancel because they wanted to come and see me. But they all understood in the end. I think it was when I got pregnant with Fraser. No, before then. I can't even remember. But I was having babies or pregnant or whatever. Seriously, anyone who's listening to this who's pregnant or having babies, that is the easiest exit ever. You say, I'm pregnant, I can't do this anymore, I need to take care of myself because I'm trying to grow a human being. Best excuse ever to get off the tools.
So you're advocating there that ladies listening to this should immediately go out and get themselves pregnant.
Or practice, whatever.
It's too much information. So if you were, let's say people are watching this or listening to this and they're thinking, well, I've got a little shop and we've got a couple of staff and I want to have 5 of them.
Yeah.
What are the, say, 3 key things that you would advise them to look at, to actually do?
If someone wants to go and open up a whole heap of them, and I did make the mistake once of opening up a second place, and we were just doing generic stuff. This was when I was doing massage stuff. You must have a reason why people are coming to you. So for me, it's because we take care of pregnant people. Now, please do not all go out there and go and open up a pregnancy day spa, because I trained and went through the pain of learning everything about pregnancy to make sure that we were doing it right. People don't realise that they've already got something on their list that they are already doing that they should specialise in. Like Marnie went nuts with the eyelash extension. So now her whole business is eyelash extensions because it was just going absolutely crazy. You know, people could, like I can't stop thinking about it, the anal bleaching. Not that everyone's going to probably have anal bleaching on their list, but like that is a niche market. Even doing Brazilian waxing here in Perth, there's some business, I can't even remember what they're called, but they are just doing Brazilian waxing and they do it in about 10 minutes. So they charge $90 a pop. $90 for 10 minutes work is pretty good. I think they're looking at maybe franchising themselves. The IPL stuff, you know, some people are doing hair removal. If you specialise in that, this is not to say you can't do anything else. You just need to choose something that you focus on. You have to have a solution for a particular kind of person. So that means that people will travel an hour to actually come and see you because you are the professional. You are the only person who is going to solve their problem. So, you know, it could be I mean, I've listed a whole heap of things. It could be pigmentation, or it could be acne, or it could be, you know, anti-aging, or it could be the fat cavitation, whatever. You just have to choose something and position yourself to be the leader in that industry, which is what I've done. So we don't just do pregnant people. We have men coming in, usually with their partners, but we have mums coming in afterwards because they love seeing us. They have a great experience. Mums talk. So that's how, like, and we're expanding constantly on what we're trying to do. But absolutely, like, you would be absolutely kidding yourself if you thought you were going to open up, you know, 5 or 6 places and did not have one service that you specialise in. You've got, that has to be the number one thing. Even if you're only ever opening the one stuff, why wouldn't you just pick one thing? Like even hair salons, hair extensions. You know, I myself, I would like to go get hair extensions, but I'm afraid of it. Like I wouldn't just walk into the local hair salon and go, oh, yeah, you've got hair extensions on your menu. I would seek out somebody who specialised in hair extensions. What else would I say?
So number one, you've got to specialise. You've got to have a niche.
Absolutely. Without a niche,
Even if you do other things in the business, that's the one you hammer.
Yep, absolutely. You can market all your everyday, you know, you might do waxing, facials, pedicures, manicures, massage, you know, everything under the sun. You can have all of those menus there sitting there waiting for your clients. It will be the locals that come in for all of those. But position yourself as being a professional, the specialist in one particular service, and don't confuse it. Don't go, oh, well, I'm going to go do eyelash extensions and hair extensions, and I'm going to get into pedicures, and I'll be the specialist for all of them, because people just get confused. They'll just be like, oh, this person's, jack of all trades, master of none. Find out what you're the master in.
Don't try to be all things to all people.
Absolutely.
So that's the number one crucial thing. If you had to pick 2 others, what would they be?
Goals. I would seriously suggest everybody go and do that Chalene Johnson. It's Chalene, I think, Johnson. Oh, God. I can't even remember what the program's called, but it's just a free 30-day program. You need to know how are you going to get anywhere if you don't know where you're going. You need to know what you are moving on to. You need to tap in with what your values are. Like even me, like sometimes I get a little bit lost, so I need to regroup and I go, well, what's really important to me? What do I really want to achieve? And how am I going to do that? So, you know, and I will do this quite regularly. Like every couple of months I might go, how's the direction that I'm going at, or I feel a little bit lost. So I'll tap into my core values and then prioritise where I want to go. You absolutely have to have goals.
So what you're saying is start with the end in mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your end might be building a business and in 5 years selling it and cashing out.
Yep,
or it might be keeping the business, generating you a 6-figure income while you live in Tuscany for 3 months or whatever.
Yep.
But you've got to have some kind of end in mind.
Yep.
And and I guess some way of measuring how you're going. You've got to have scores on the doors, don't you? Would say, what would the third thing be? What's the big third?
The third thing would be for me, this is really important, and I would say that there's a lot of people who have families. Even having a partner is your family. You need to dedicate time to your family. I know Sir Richard Branson, he said work time and play time is all the same because he loves what he does. But for me, I've got kids and I can't actually mix business time with family time at the moment. So have dedicated time when you're going to work on the business, when you're going to work in the business, and when you're going to do family stuff. Turn your phone off. Get the computer off. I'm shocking with Facebook. That is definitely my vice at the moment. I spend way too much time on that. But make sure that you're actually having a quality of life, because as morbid as it sounds, you don't know what's going to happen at the end of the day. You could get hit by a bus, and if you're not giving your family or loved ones any time because you're too busy working in the business, why are you in business? Like, at the end of the day, you're not going to go, geez, I wish I worked more. You're going to go, God, I wish I actually spent more time with the people I love. So actually make sure you are dedicating time. Otherwise, there's no point. There's absolutely no point in doing it.
Okay, where's the business at the moment?
Right now, we're just about to open 2 more spas in Sydney, and then we'll be opening up in Melbourne. By the end of the year, we'll have Brisbane up and running. Someone's already approached me to license Hobart as well. I definitely want to get into New Zealand. I married a Kiwi and I love the place, so I'd love to spend more time over there. My ultimate goal is to franchise the business. I'm only 28 and I'm really passionate about what I do. It's a tough one. I'm happy to have control of my business for as long as I love the hell out of it, and as long as I'm still able to give plenty of my time to my family and children, my friends as well, then I'm happy to keep going the way I do. I don't know. I don't think I could ever be out of business. I just love it too much. I'm really, really, really passionate about it. I know there'll be challenges, and I know I will have days where I go, oh my God, I don't want to do any of this. I just want out, exit, exit, exit. That's normal, and I'm expecting that. My husband knows that as well. But I just want to see Yummy Mummy everywhere. I love what I do, and I can't wait to have it accessible for all the pregnant women. I'd love to take it internationally. I'd love to go to Europe. I'd love to go to the States. How long's a piece of string? Like, why would I stop? Like, just, if there's anyone listening who would like to transform their business into a pregnancy day spa, please do contact me.
That there's a bunch of members looking at this going, yeah, I could do well with Amy Mitchell as my mentor. And
it's fun. It's a crazy ride. It's a roller coaster. Definitely. Like, not a dull moment.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm sure this will prompt a bunch of inquiries. We'll put up your Yummy Mummy Pregnancy Day Spa website on the video.
Yeah.
So people can go through and have a look at what you've done online. And I'm sure that you'll be stalking our Facebook forum, boxing other members around the ears and telling them to stop complaining and get on with it.
I will. I love it.
Okay. Thanks so much for your time, Amy.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.